There we go. Okay. So the first thing in regards to Rentspree that I want you to, the whole point is, number one, you have to set up your profile. So log in, and we'll go over that, but that's important. You have to set up your profile so it has your picture, your information, how to contact you and all that stuff. So, but the process timeline is something like this. So you get a rental lead received. If you're on KV Core, you might be receiving rental leads. You know, you might be getting a lot of rental leads. If you, like I said, you'll get referrals, you meet different people, you can get rental leads from anywhere. But initially, the first call that comes in, this is the time for you to educate and collect the right data. This is the most important phone call, because this is going to set you up for success or not success. And just so you know, what I typically do is I give every person 100%. But the thing I love about this is if they don't do their part, they weren't serious, and then I'll move on to the next. That's how you know who you want to work with as far as a rental lead. Okay, so once the call comes in, the first thing I'm going to do is send the Rentspree link, which I'll show you guys how that's done. So you're going to have your link in a place that is easily accessible, or have a rental template ready to send to them via email as soon as you hang up. Timing is of the essence. Why? Because these people are on all sites looking for a rental. And what are they doing? They're clicking, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this. And so then they start getting all these calls back. That's why your first call to them is so important. And then the next thing is report, and the documents are received. So once you hang up with them, you send them that email. And if you have a CRM or a database, you can have template emails and also template text messages in your CRM. And all you simply do is click, move, click. It's as simple as a click to send the email to them with the items that are needed for them to apply, and for you to see what they, what they look like. Remember, it's important for you to see those documents before you even think about taking them out. It's like a buyer. You want to know what they qualify for, because they might be sending you homes that they want to rent for $2,000, but they make $1,500, or they barely make, $2,000, oh, well, so-and-so is moving in with me, but they're just not going to go on the lease. Oh, it doesn't work that way. So again, it's important to have those conversations so you know if it's something that is worth your time. So once that you receive the documents and the reports, documents, are their W-2s, pay stubs, and all of that stuff to verify the income. You're going to review them, and then my suggestion is to team up with the lender to review the documents to see if they would qualify for a loan. So typically what I do is once I get them, I'll look at them myself and I'll say, you know what, why are these people going to rent? Because I see they have reserves or they have a retirement, they have great income, but sometimes people are afraid and they don't know what they don't know. So, or sometimes there's a reason they're not buying at this moment. There are reasons. So, but that's important to take a look at. And so the whole point of getting all the documents together is you want to be able to prepare the lease package so it's ready to submit on every property. Because the easier you make things for yourself, the more likely you're going to use it. If it's hard, you're not going to do it. So, spend the time, the first time, putting all of their documents in one PDF, with the, with their application and everything else that comes from Rentspree, and compile it into a PDF, and you can, just put lease application for their last name or what have you. And just for each property, you can, submit it directly to the agents. So, once you have that, you're going to determine your plan. So you're going to contact your clients and discuss their findings. because maybe once you see their credit report, or maybe you see they have an eviction on there, it's important for you to have that discussion with them, and let them know, where they stand. And then start sending them homes, obviously, that meet their criteria. Like I mentioned, I typically send applications before showing properties. I really don't show any properties unless their application is going to be approved, because it's a waste of time for everybody. And the reason it's different than buying, but the reason why is if you call the agent and they say, oh, we have 5 applications on file and my guy's gonna pick one of these. Okay, fine, then don't bother with it. Or sometimes I'll tell them, I'm gonna send you my application, review it. If you think it's my client meets the criteria of your landlord, let me know, and then I'll take them out there to see it. Because sometimes they're very particular what they're looking for, super specific. And it's, like I said, it's a waste of everybody's time. So that's why I do it like that. So getting into Rentspree. So they do offer free tenant screening for us as an agent. Okay, so of course there is an application fee for for each individual that's applying. So you can use the screening services through Rentspree at no cost, and it allows you to quickly and easily receive a comprehensive application package. So it includes credit report and score, criminal background, 50-state eviction history. It's a completed rental application and tenant identity verification. So it does all of these things. It's $38 a person for them to do that. And like I said, most agents now are using Rentspree. So it's accepted. And what I tell people, did you have a question? Oh,
I do, but
okay. And what I tell people is there are some that may want to rerun your credit once you're accepted. But the beauty of this is it's accepted by most agents that have leases. But some will say, once you're accepted, we do want to run a full credit report, because this only does one credit report.
now, do you need to have a property in mind to, but
You do not. You do not.
property?
No. So so this is right here. So I created a QR code. So if you can see here, so basically when someone wants to apply, I can text them that photo and they can scan it, the link, and it takes them directly to my Rentspree, because you want to send them to your Rentspree, because if you don't want to send them to someone else's, because every leased property has a Rentspree. So if you're sending them their link, you'll never get to see the report. And that means they're going to have to redo it each time they go to apply for a property. Okay, so you don't want them to do that. Okay, so that's the purpose of that. But have your link, or you can create a QR code from the link, have it in your notes, have it on like I said, on a template email, have it somewhere. So that way, as soon as someone calls you, it's readily available and you can send it out. So that way, once you get everything back, it just makes it so simplified to have it done that way. Any questions so far?
You gonna go over how to do a QR?
The QR code will be next week during our Canva class. But today is showing you how to get set up on Rentspree. So this is just not for buyers, or not buyers, for renters who call in that want to rent a house. You can actually use this to advertise your leases. So if you're a lease listing agent, you can create a free listing page. And what I mean by that is you simply enter your listing. It's so when you're putting your home in the MLS, when you're adding it like in the MLS, like for sale or for lease, you get it. There's now a button where under the office tab, it says Rentspree. So if you click Rentspree, it's gonna sync everything to Rentspree. So now your listing shows up in Rentspree. Okay? It is super cool. So what happens is when you go into Rentspree, which I'll show you, when you go into Rentspree, you can create a free listing page, which that is what I created here. So I put this in each of the properties that I lease. And I don't know if you want to grab it, Jennifer, it's on my desk, you know, that stand, yeah. So I leave it there. When people come to see it, if they want to apply, I don't do paper applications. They have to apply through here because their credit has to be ran and everything else. So if they tell me, hey, Sonia, I'm interested in leasing this, no problem. You know, scan the QR code, begin your application. If you want to do it on a computer, just scan the code and save the, you know, the web address. But this is exactly what I do. So I create this flyer on Canva, and then I just leave this on the counter in the office, in the house. And so basically what this does is it takes you to the property's website that's free from Rentspree. Okay. And it gives you all the information, the property, how much is the deposit, our pets, and you know, are you able to have pets? What's the monthly rent? Everything that's included is on that website. So it's yes. And then if you want to apply, you click apply. So it's really neat. And like I said, it's free 99. So. The QR code is made off Canva. So, and that is, I don't know if QR code, I have the pro account, so I don't know if you don't have the pro, if you can make QR codes. That I don't know. I don't think so, huh?
Yes,
You
you can.
can.
Tinywow.com.
Okay, there you go. So it is free too.
That website does more than just QR codes.
Okay, well, maybe, actually, that is gonna be our next class. I have never done that, so. So the purpose of it is you want to showcase your listings. And again, this is super neat if you are gonna take a lease listing. Lease listings aren't bad. Like I actually enjoy them because again, you're getting to meet all these potential buyers who may in fact decide to buy. Or if you do an open house for a lease, you get all the neighbors coming because they're nosy, they want to know what's going on. And again, you get to create some great relationships that way. So, so 6%. Yeah. So, so basically how, the lease is, how it's determined, like, because a lot of people are like 6% of what, right? So it's of the first year's rent. So if the rent was 30,000 that the owner received, 6%, it's $1,800. So that's what the lease listing would cost. And I include professional photos with mine because my goal is to property manage them and to keep their photos on file. So that way, when they want to release again, I have those photos. So, you know, again, you want to do a little bit extra to keep that relationship.
So you do the lease listing and then you do the property management?
Yes. Yes.
And the maintenance as well?
Yeah. Well, property management is part of the
So
maintenance.
it's like 10%.
10% every month. Yeah. Yeah.
Can like a realtor like that could manage it?
You have to have a special license through the DRE, but you can.
Go ahead, it's all the-
You don't, you know, it's not a special license, but you have to have the DBA. You have to, yeah. But yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it.
Property management.
Yeah. So, so even if renting is the only option, so let's just say they don't qualify to buy right now, your efforts never go to waste. So look at the bigger picture, create an experience. They too have friends, family, and coworkers. People talk. So remember, service is everything. So number one, build trust by having a plan, educating and guiding them and you know, doing what you say you're going to do. There's nothing more frustrating because remember, they are clicking away at all these places and don't think agents are calling them right away. They're not. So you need to stand out. creating a relationship, show them that you are there through the whole process. It's not about you. There may be a home that they really want that they're not, that you just have to refer, because sometimes that's how some of these property managements are. And that's perfectly fine. Again, look at the bigger picture, still try to guide them, still try to help them. And that way you remain in contact with them, because again, they're not going to rent forever. And follow up. Once they're in the home, whether you leased it to them or not, stay in touch and keep them motivated. Okay. Goals. So we know that we would rather have instant gratification, but that is not always possible. So set your business up to succeed with systems and follow up. So number one, making it easy. And this is why I tell you, make it easy for you. Create systems for you. The easier it is, the more likely you're going to do it. Okay. And remember, you're on the phone with them, start doing it at that moment, because we already know that if you don't do it now, later doesn't happen, or it's too late. Okay. So you lost it. And you can actually ask for client testimonial, even from a renter. You know, so if people see, you know what, she helped me rent, she, you know, they know, you know, you don't really get much from renting, but you stuck by them and you help them, they're going to appreciate that. Okay. And, you know, you can get more referrals. So don't be discouraged for sure. So I kind of wrote this script to help you guys. Who wants to be the lead? You want to be the lead? Okay.
We need to find her.
Hi, what was your name? Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much for calling. I would be happy to assist you. When do you need to be in your new home?
2 months.
2 months, perfect. And why are you moving?
We're selling a home. The
Well,
seller is selling a home.
Okay, nice, understandable. So where are you looking to move to, and what's the criteria that you're looking for?
Full 4-bedroom, 3.
Okay, are you only considering a home, or would you consider a condo or a townhome? Okay, great. And what is the monthly payment that you're trying to stay around?
$2,000.
Hi, hello? Just kidding. So this, do you see what I put right here? This is when you know who you're talking to. Right here. You're talking to Mr. Realistic or Mr. Unrealistic. So this is where you have to just put your expertise in there. So she's saying $5,000. It's like, okay, she's crazy. I would never pay $5,000 rent, you know? I'm talking to a lunatic. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, thank you. Have you seen any homes, or have you spoken to anyone other than me?
Yes.
That's okay. No, no, this is just an example, so you can say whatever. No, you can say whatever you want.
Yes, I've been trying to talk to a lot of people. The answers are wrong.
Okay, and so have you decided to work with anyone yet, or? Okay, well, just to give you a little bit of information, there's a lot of fraud going on when it comes to rentals. It's important that you select an agent that you're comfortable to work with. This way you send your documents to one person, complete one application, which is good to use to apply to at least 85% of homes available for rent. If you call every single home, most likely they're going to make you apply each time, and you're going to have to continue to send documents. And it can get frustrating since not all agents work the same. You may or may not get a response. So again, choosing to work with the right agent can save you application fees and keep you away from possible fraud. As soon as we hang up, I will send you an email with what you need to get started. You can click the link to apply immediately and forward the documents necessary to apply. Or if you prefer, we can meet in person. We can schedule an appointment as well. And so may I get the names and emails of all the persons over 18 who will be residing with you? And why is that important? Because everybody who's 18 has to fill out an application. Okay, it doesn't mean that they have to go on the lease. It means that they have to fill out the application because you have to know, because a lot of times they're like, my 18-year-old son is not going on the lease. You know, my 19-year-old daughter's not going, and that's perfectly fine. But the ones who are going on the lease have to qualify income wise. So if you're having these other people that are 18 and 19 and you need their income, then yes, they are going on the lease because you needed them to qualify. Does that make sense? But if they're your children or even if they're not your children, but you don't need that income to qualify, then it's perfectly fine. Even if they have no job, but they're 18 years old, they still have to fill out an application. Okay, so that's why you want the application. So the importance of, like I said, the reason why I did this is I want you to understand that there is a lot of fraud going on, a lot. There's a lot of homes that are for sale and people post them as rentals. And actually, I have someone here who actually was defrauded of $5,000 because they told her, give me a deposit and, you know, this home will be yours or whatever. He didn't own the property and he just took her money basically. So it happens because a lot of times sometimes you're in a desperate situation and you're excited and you're just not asking questions. So this is our way of hoping to, you know, let whoever we come in contact with, and even other people that you maybe not are looking to rent, you can talk to. This is another conversation to have with some of your people, you know, if you know anyone that's looking to rent, send them my way. I do that too, because you don't want them to end up, you know, being defrauded. So all of that is important. So, so this is something, again, a script like after docs are reviewed. So, you know, you're just going to basically say, you know, I was able to review your documents that you provided and I have a question. You know, is there a reason you haven't considered buying a home? And this would be for if you looked at your documents and you're like, why aren't these people buying a house? You know, because they qualify. And they're going to say, yes, but we don't have a down payment. Or yes, but we can't afford it in the area that we only want to live in. Or no, we want to wait, or, you know, just listen to whatever they have to say. And then you can just simply respond, you know, ultimately the decision between renting and buying depends on your personal circumstances, financial situation, and long-term goals. It's important to consider factors such as financial stability, lifestyle preferences, housing conditions, and your plans for the future. If I can show you what it would look like to buy versus rent, would you be interested in to see what that looks like? What do you think they're going to say? Okay, how long does that take, right? So then at that point, if you guys don't know how to do that, in the MLS, another free tool. It's rent versus buy. And you basically input what they're going to pay for rent, what they would pay for a home, and it does all the calculations for you, and it'll spit it out and it'll tell you, this is the rent versus buy. And when you see that, it's pretty eye-opening, to be honest. It really, really is. Even if they're paying cheap rent, it still is eye-opening. So this, even if they're not ready, it's okay. This, you know, it also helps you to have more in-depth conversation, because sometimes once you're providing more and more value, they're going to really open up a little bit more, and they're going to start telling you what's really holding them back, you know, and that's when trust is built.
Where can you find that rent versus?
I'll show you. It's in the MLS. So it's always good to have some kind of flyer. So I can send this to you guys so you have it. Just the difference between rent versus buying. So that way you guys get familiar with some of the things people say why they don't want to buy, or why they rather rent or whatever. And it's just so that way, it's not that you're contradicting what they're saying, you're just providing facts. And a lot of times they don't have the facts. And if everybody could buy, they would buy. So let's be realistic, you know. Okay, so let's go into so here, let's go into the MLS. So this is what it looks like. Obviously, if you're going to go into the MLS, which is Matrix, right, to look up properties, under finance, when you click finance down, this is where you're going to find the rent to own. Yeah. Okay, so if you, it says right here, let me see. Should I buy or rent or buy? You see that? So if you click that, you have to input the information based on whatever they're renting, how long they're gonna rent, what a payment would be and all that, and it calculates it for you, okay? So that's that. And here is the Rentspree on your dashboard, okay? So when you log into Rentspree, remember, the first thing that you are to do is to fill out your profile, by putting all of your information. That's before you share your or your link, make sure you do that. Okay, make sure you do that. Now, if you do not have any listings, but you want to create your link for you, this is where you go. You just go to start screening request. Okay, so you're going to select that. And then these are your screening options. Who is going to pay? The applicant, not you. So you're going to select applicant. It does have the option of a standard rental application. That is the one that's in car forms. So it does have that. And keep in mind, when you have a property, that when you're leasing a property and you input it into car, there also, it's going to ask you if you wanted to talk to Rentspree, and you're going to select Rentspree. When you do that, every person who applies, their application gets automatically imported to your car forms. So it's like, when you sign a document on DocuSign and then it has, if you guys know what I'm talking about, some of you do, maybe do or don't, but when you sign a document through DocuSign, once it's executed, it goes back to your car forms. That's where this will show up too. It's like a PDF version of their application, okay, and all their documents. So it's the credit score, it's their full application, credit score, criminal background, and eviction proceedings. So, but again, you still, as a listing agent, lease listing agent, still have more work to do when you get this, but this is just a general, initial thing if you're going to do this.
Does it have all three sports?
No, just one, TransUnion. Just one. Yeah. No, so that's why I'm saying, so basically the purpose of this is so that way you're going to be able to tell, obviously by income, by everything else, so they don't have to spend so much money. You can have them run a full credit report once you accept them. Like once you decide you accept somebody, most people will have them run all three bureaus to verify everything. But this is not, this does not, this only runs one. So it does. Yeah. Anytime your credit's ran, it affects your credit score. So yeah,
So they call it soft.
I don't believe that. Yeah, that is no such thing. So this, once you click next, at this time, you can send them an email or a text message, which like I said, I don't use that. I prefer to do the share link. So I'm going to copy this link, and that's the link I'm going to keep to send to whoever wants to apply. That's the link, or that's the link I'm going to use to make my QR code. Okay. You can do a print screening handout, which it allows you, it shows you like this, where it does like, it's kind of like this per se, but it does it through their own. And it just says apply now with the QR code. So you can do that one too, but if you want it branded to yourself, create your own. So that's how to do that. Now, if you go back, if you go here to tenant screening, so every time someone, like I said, applies, you can decide if you're going to accept them. Like these tenants were just accepted on one of our properties. So as soon as they get accepted, they get an email saying, congratulations, you have been accepted for this property. This is the next steps. This is your move-in date. This is the deposit that's needed. This is who, it gives them all the details of, what's the next, like I said, what the next steps are. And then once, if you have properties, you go here to my listings and it shows you here, look at how many people have applied for the property. It shows you the amount of applications that you have. And then if you, like, let's just say we'll go to this one. So here is your page that has, your listing. This is actually your listing. So this is your listing management. If you wanted to, you could even set it up to collect your rent payments from here as well. If you wanted to go that far, like if you're property managing, you can do that too. But here is where you create your listing page. You just select create listing page, put the property type, what kind of property is it? Let's just say the bedrooms, baths, property description. So you copy it from the MLS. Who is it listed by? And then it's like, it's my brokerage. See, so you can actually do other people's as well, because it says different brokerage or a landlord or a property manager. And then here is where if you wanted to add a video tour or add more photos, you can do that. Select next. Oh, you have to put something here. Let's just do that. Okay, so let me go back, because this one
This is not the one like a residential lease listing. Do you think of a different way? This one?
no, this is for advertising only.
Oh,
Yeah.
advertising going to Zillow or?
Advertising, no, for you to, you can advertise it, not on Zillow. You're gonna advertise it like, let's say you do, you could do a Google, you could do Facebook ad, you could do other stuff, but not Zillow. The Zillow will go when you put in the MLS.
Oh, okay,
That-
this is different.
Yes,
Going to.
this is for you to do it, yeah, or to have it at the property. Or to share it on social media, like that,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So once you're done with that, with inputting the information, this is what it looks like. And it's gonna ask you like, share the link and where do you want to share it to? Like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, email, or you could simply just copy this and then you can create a QR code or whatever it is that you plan to do. But yeah, that's basically how that is. And like I said, I don't have the pro version, because I can do everything that I need without the pro version. But they do have, I think the only difference with the pro version is your reviews show. So if you get a review, it'll show, I believe, and it tells you right here, look, Rentspree Pro, I think it's $20 a month or something. But you can send the lease agreements through it, which I do it through car, so I don't need to do that. There is auto reference checks. I guess I could look to see if that makes sense. And like I said, it does show your reviews and then you can send secure files. So, I mean, if you're gonna be doing it, probably at least 2 or 3 properties a month, then maybe it would be worth it, to do that. But that's kind of something, that's really up to you guys. If that makes sense, for you. Does anyone have any questions? No? Joyce? She's like.
Question. Say you have a renter, he comes to the office. And you want him to, would you suggest that renter fill out the application first before you even show property?
Yes, always.
So, so you go on and just do that start screening process.
Yes.
Request and let him or her do whatever they need to do.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. So let's back up a
Can you
little
print
bit.
that out? Can I
Yes,
print it out
yes,
too?
yes. So let's back up a little bit. So let's say, this is why I said you have to create this. Okay,
Yeah. I have
Okay.
it, yeah.
so obviously we use Canva for that, but you can create, it doesn't have to be that, but I'm just saying you need to have, whether it's in an email format, whether you write it down, however you do it. But when someone wants to apply, this is what you need in order to even look at any property. You need to have this information, because number one, if they don't have enough income, you're wasting your time. If they don't, if, let's say they do credit check and they have an eviction, that's gonna blow them out of the water. Like, so you really need to screen them before you do anything. Like, that's the most important. And once you screen them, you'll have their complete package together, scan it in one PDF, and that way you're able to send it to whatever homes that they want to apply for. See, so me personally, that's why I was saying, I don't show any rentals unless I know that they have the opportunity to get it. Because like I said, not everybody who's renting has the best credit. Let's be real about that. Or not everybody has the best circumstances. Some people have pets and not everybody wants pets. Like, you have to really screen the tenant and also the property. Because sometimes it says no pets, or sometimes it says call, or sometimes it says breed restrictions, or there's just so many different things. And then that's another thing. Which, check the memo we got from Rod. If it's a service or support animal, there's certain things we can't ask. So again, all of that is so important, and making sure that we're not violating, that either. So yeah, so, but yes, always screen first.
Yeah,
It-
well, okay.
Because like I said, a lot of times they might want a certain property, but yet they're not gonna meet those qualifications. So that's important. Okay, any other questions? Justin? No? Good? Okay, well then, that's it, guys. I hope you guys learned something. Yeah. Let me.